Hello, everyone. This is Waleed from SnaX. I'm so happy and so glad that we came back after a short leave for everyone. Excited to have a special guest with me, which is Mr. Tim. Mr. Tim is one of the leading experts in marketing, and we have met online multiple times. So he was so generous to give me the time to discuss and really help what relates between customer experience and marketing, because I always say both of them are like two eyes. One is in the left and one of the right, or both. So they really complement each other. They really support each other. So I thought that, okay, this is a person that will add, for me personally, a value. I hope it add value to everyone together. As we know, the world's most successful company use branding to define their offering, sell more products, and keep customer coming back for more. Successful branding can make or break any organization. I think so. This is a subject that Mr. Tim and me and you have already highlighted more than one. So, Mr. Tim, as you are one of the external and have written two books and or basically co-authored two books in that field and supported that area and for the past 20 years, which was and one of the things that really amazed me, that you have a passion as a DJ. So that's something amazing, that you have that tempo of. So we have now, as I say, one of the biggest DJ concerts here in Saudi. So I wish to see you. You have the chance to come, which is
Oh,
Middle
that'd be
East.
amazing.
So that will be a great, yeah, that will be great. Honestly, I think so, and I can see that you have worked with Google, with BMW. You have worked with Spencer Josker and YouTube. So that was an amazing expertise. Also, I can see that you have really included a lot of marketing support by clients, including Amazon, and also you have worked also with a lot of CMOs that in the UK, that and I think so internationally, supporting them in how really to build a correct marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear from you first, just a short introduction, and how you can really help us by what I can see, one of the best sellers of your books is Better Business on Make Money. So and create an impact. So this is a book that really makes a difference,
Yeah.
and also be a force of good. So I would like to hear from you to understand more.
Right. What? Sort of a summary of where I've come from and how I've got to this point. Is that what you'd like?
Yes, please. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, please.
Sure. Okay. Well, you've kindly. What a lovely introduction. Thank you very much. And what you've kind of set me up beautifully. Yes, I've had a very interesting portfolio career. Yes, I started in music. I did that for 15 to 20 years. And then I realized I could see diminishing returns. I was very lucky. I DJed all over the world. I produced music. I had music in the charts. Yeah, it was. I realized I could see the returns were getting smaller. So I had an opportunity. And the opportunity was to flip my career. And I thought, well, where could I go with all of this creative knowledge, this global experience? And I was really lucky. I found advertising and I started working at McCann, and I also worked with Google Creative Labs, and I worked as a creative, coming up with creative solutions. And with these creative solutions, I realized this was a great, very enjoyable line of work, but I actually had more interest in the strategy behind great marketing. And so I moved from being a creative into working client side, as they say, and helping people get these strategic decisions that they need to make in order to do great marketing. And that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years.
That's great. So, okay, 15 years, I think so, as a DJ, am I correct? And then, or more, and then 10 years in marketing. So, how can you rate if you put the both in one bucket, how can you relate them together?
Well, I think being in the music industry taught me, I literally taught myself how to do marketing. I had to come up with marketing solutions for everything I did, whether it was as an entertainer, as a DJ, as a record label owner, as a music producer, and even as an artist manager. I had to come up with branding solutions. I had to come up with different channels of marketing. I had to use social media. I had to do normal advertising. So yeah, I was in at the deep end, teaching myself how to do all of this. But then along the way, I also got a lot more experience. And when I worked with clients, I learned how the marketing industry works. And I also did a mini MBA in marketing, which has been incredibly formative and gave me really clear foundations as to how I can work with clients.
Great. So, okay, if we put يعني, a very small question, I think so the answer will not be small from your side, but I think so it's a one definition of marketing in simple words. Why is it important? Why is marketing important?
Okay, marketing is the engine that fuels business. And too often when I work with clients, I find that business leaders have a lot of experience in their industry. They have drive, stamina, they have energy, they have often financial skills, and they have management skills. But often there is a hole where marketing theory should be. And I believe that in the modern day, the business strategy and marketing strategy have converged. And basically, there are three C's. There is understand your company, understand your customer, and understand your competition. And if you're doing corporate strategy, you need to understand all of those things. If you're doing marketing strategy, you need to understand those three things. So, what I'm trying to suggest is that if you're making important business decisions, you should have a senior marketer at the table when you make those decisions because they will be able to give their view on your decisions, on everything. On literally, you might think, well, what's marketing got to do with supply chain? Actually, quite a lot. What's marketing got to do with I don't know organizational changes within our business? Surprisingly, quite a lot. A good marketer is aware of all of these things because a good marketer helps a business connect with their audience. And if you want to do that efficiently, then basically you need to have someone with great marketing skills at the table.
Perfect. So, how can we relate customer experience to marketing?
Okay, so customer experience is an essential part of marketing. It is one of the tactics that you use when you are trying to connect with your customers is to ensure that customer experience is A1. When I work with my clients and we talk about what their product is, actually, in reality, it's a given that their product is good. Otherwise, we wouldn't be working together. So if we accept that the product's good, tick, then everything else in their business needs also to be great. So every touch point that a customer has with a business needs to be absolutely amazing, particularly if you're trying to suggest that your product is a premium product, which is how I would encourage everyone I work to approach their business. So if you're saying the thing we offer, the service or the product is the best or one of the best in the field, then you can't let that image be shattered by poor customer experience. You need to make sure that every single touch point, from the moment they find out about you to when they go on your website, to if they email you, to right the way through to buying the product. What's the experience of unpackaging the product? What's the experience of using the product? And then out the other side, what do they think of you and buying it from you and the whole process? Have they only got, gold star recommendation? Because if they do, then you've just created an advocate, someone that will tell lots of people that this is the best. Next time someone is having a meal, you're having a meal with a friend and they say, oh, I had a nightmare. I don't know, my mobile phone's rubbish and I need a new one. You go, oh man, you have to have the new iPhone. It's the best. And all the apps are really good and everything works. And I've got a Mac computer and it all talks to each other. That's a good example of, customer experience.
Thank you. So, I think so. One of the subjects that we have discussed is that, during building a marketing plan, there are a lot of mistakes that a lot of companies and organizations, and even government, when they have an approach to go through, a PR or a plan to really have a campaign, there are mistakes. How we can learn from an expert like you that we don't fall in what other have fallen, so we could learn from them.
Right. Well, I believe that there is a process to marketing. And the most common mistake in marketing is to ignore this process. The most common mistake that I see all the time in marketing is there is a business and they want to tell people about what they're doing, and they jump over the bits I'm about to tell you and go straight into creating films, adverts, making things that will make noise about their business. They believe that if they make these things, that more people will know about their product or their service. Well, that's correct to a certain degree. But here's the bit they're missing, and I would argue is the most important piece of marketing. A lot of people think of marketing literally as the kind of the drawing department or the filmmaking department, the people that make the nice, bright things that you see to tell you what a company does. But actually, that's not marketing. That is only 1/10 of marketing. And before you get into the part of marketing, which is making these beautiful things that hopefully people will remember that tell them about your business, you need to be very clear on the following things. Number one, you need to understand and do diagnosis and research around your business and the market that you are aiming to sell to. Okay, so I mean the best thing a good marketer can do is to admit that you know nothing until you've asked your customers. If you can adopt that position, then you immediately are more informed than 95% of most businesses, okay, in the world. If you can genuinely adopt that position, then it is logical that if you admit that you don't know what's going on in the heads of your customers, what can you do? You can find out. And if you find out by going to them and asking them questions, whether that is spending time with them, really understanding how they use your product and understanding them and what they do and how they live and who they are, or right the way through to focus groups or even online surveys. If you do all of that, then you create data that you can look at, and data that will inform you on the next important stage, which you must do before you do your tactics. And the next important stage is strategy. And strategy absolutely underpins all great marketing. And there are 4 stages to strategy, which I will outline now very quickly. Number 1, right? You must do segmentation. By segmentation, I mean imagine the whole available market that you can sell to as a pie, and you are going to slice that pie into chunks. And you're going to attach values to these slices of the pie, like numbers, like how many, okay, I've identified these are people I could sell to. How many of them are there in this country, globally, in another country? Work all of this stuff out, and you start to paint a map of where it is that you can do your great marketing. Stage 2 of marketing is targeting. So a great strategist once said, targeting is as much about what you don't do as what you do. As in, when you choose who you're going to target, by default, you are choosing who you are not going to target. Why is this important? Because if you try and target everyone, you are doomed to failure, typically. And then if you choose a specific targeted segment, you're more likely to have success putting all of your company effort on catching those people. Okay, that is targeting. Stage 3, positioning. So basically, if you've got your segmentation done, you've chosen your targets, you now need to position. And if you were working with me, I would give you a template, and the template would, you'd fill in the boxes, and this would be who you're going after, who the competition is, what you're selling to them. And imagine you have 3 brain cells in your customer that you can affect. What are the 3 things you want them to think about your business, right? That's a positioning statement. Then you set objectives, and you will not believe the number of times I have worked with clients and I've said, so what is the objective? And they look a bit nervous, a little bit worried. More sales, or, raise awareness is a classic, but really an objective should be something more like this. In 2024, we are going to target women between the age of 30 and 35 working in France who are currently working in middle management roles, and we really feel that we can target these people very well. Why? Because we know that there are 2 million of them. And how many have we got already buying our product? We've got 10,000. What will happen if we target them? Maybe we'll get 100,000. How much money will that bring our business? Let's say £1 million. Now, I just made up all of those numbers, but my point is that is an objective statement. That is a proper precision sentence that you can show a CEO, an FD, and then here's the beautiful bit, is if you can show them that statement, they'll go, well, that sounds great. How are you going to do it? And you go, well, if you think I'm going to make you, I'm making this up, let's say £1 million, please can I have £200,000 so that I can do some great marketing and actually go and get these people with a great advert or a film, or maybe I need to take a box at the race course, or whatever it is I need to do to connect with these people. Okay, so that is strategy. Okay, and if you do your research and you do your strategy, then what comes out the other side, because you know who you're going for and because you've done all of this work, is your tactics will then be obvious, because you'll know who you're going for, where they are, how they behave, and what's most likely to connect with them.
Perfect. So basically, this is the basic design of a plan that you have really helped to introduce to us. That how can we really implement and support and really work on. Even I think so. This could happen on a personal level. That if you
Yeah,
want to market yourself, you need to know your audience. This applies to any, yani, because I put myself as a product. So if I'm a product, I need to really implement these 4 steps, which are really very clear. Okay,
yeah, I think so. And
what do you see? Uh, yeah,
sorry, I was going to say, I think
yes,
that
please.
every
I'm with you.
every business owner should have a view on all of those things that I have just spoken about. And if you're a business owner and you don't have an answer, if someone says to you, what are your market segments? And you can't tell them. If someone says to you, who are you targeting this year? And you haven't got an answer for that, then we've got a problem, because it's not clear. It's not focused. If someone says, what are your objectives in 2024? Your marketing, what are they? If you've not got any, that's a problem. And if you've got more than 3, that's a problem. And also, too many is also a problem. So you need to have a set number and be really focused. And you need to take time. You need to allow time to do this market research and allow time to do the strategy. Don't do it in one day. That'll be ridiculous. Right? Take time, think about it, give consideration to it, put it together over a number of weeks, and then show some friends, and then talk to some colleagues and say, what do you reckon? This is what I'm thinking. I thought about it. I think these are the people I'm going for. That's why. This is how I'm going to do it. See what they think. And slowly you will get something that you feel proud of that you can do next year. And one of the best things is, if you follow this process in this level of detail, then should anything go wrong next year with your chosen tactics, you can work backwards and you can see at what point you made the decision that didn't work. And that is a beautiful thing also, because that is much better than just scratching your head at the end of the year and going, I'm not sure what happened.
Amazing. That's a really good plan. Yani we are in the end of the year, so I hope everyone really notices this really input from your side, so they could put it in their mind. So, what do you see the future of marketing? Let's say for the coming 5 years. What is
Wow.
it more to tech? Is it more, yeah, to personal, yani personal interaction? Is it more to behavior? Because I think so. Now, the changes which are happening in the world, especially in the movement of tech
Yeah.
and the movement of that, I think so. The human behavior is really getting impacted in a different level. So, where do you see in the coming, let's say, in the coming 5 years, what's happening?
Okay. You asked me about 3 things, and I think they're all very interesting areas. So let's start with where is marketing going in general, and I'd like to talk about the need for emotional connection, because I think that over the last 15 years that we've had a kind of love affair with immediate digital marketing, like Google adverts, like Facebook adverts, like things like this. And because why do we like them? It's because they're fast, they're immediate. It means I can go today onto Google, I can make an advert like this, and it's live. So the FD, the CEO are going, are you doing Google ads? Because I can see the results. You show me the statistics. I know if they're working or they're not. This is why. This is bad. Because really, we need to be thinking longer term about the emotional connection that people have with your business or your brand. Okay. And I see it coming. It's coming all around us. In the UK right now, in the last year, there's been a big swing back to adverts that connect emotionally. And these are proven to work really, really well. So by that, I mean something funny, something heartwarming, something beautiful that comes across or is amusing or captivates your imagination. This is great because for too long we've been relying on the sort of dirty, fast, cheap digital adverts. And I think really thinking about your brand and thinking how you connect emotionally with your audience is very important in the future. You also asked about AI and tech and things like that. So yes, there are some astonishing new developments in marketing where people are able to model scenarios where AI software system can predict which media choices you need to make to optimize the sales of your product. Now that's fascinating. Previously, that used to be a team of humans, and now that can be done by software. So that's really interesting. I don't feel this makes anyone threatened in marketing. It's just a fantastic tool that will kind of stress test your theory, if you like. And also, AI will increasingly provide a kind of backup or a simulation if you're thinking, with my strategy, I'm thinking if I do all of this and maybe I put, £200,000 into TV adverts and maybe I do a newspaper advert here, you can actually run simulations that will tell you how effective that would be, which is really, really cool. And then finally, you asked me about behavior. So I am becoming increasingly interested in customer behavior as a kind of science. And I know it's a whole kind of thing in itself that one can spend ages on. But what I like is that I think the process I outlined just now earlier in this conversation, that's really logical. And I think one needs to remember that you can apply lots of logic and you must apply all of those logical stages to marketing, but leave some space for things that you can't predict and leave some space for taking some risk. Taking some chances, just going, my gut feeling says people are going to love this. Let's give it a go. Leave some space for that because sometimes people behave differently to how they are predicted to behave. People behave differently to the market research. So let's say if I was to say, 80% of all of your strategy should be based on hard fact and data, leave 20% for chance, for possibility, and get really creative with that. Because there are some amazing things. I've been watching this really, really good series of videos by Rory Sutherland, who is chairman of Ogilvy and is a specialist. He speaks about this specific area a lot. And he's come up with lots of really interesting stories. And one of the stories he told is that, sometimes customers don't know what they actually want. And we have to sometimes experiment to work out what that is. And he told this lovely story about how speedometers on cars, right? They show us how many miles per hour we are driving. And he said, what if that didn't show you how fast you were driving in miles per hour, but instead the opposite? It showed you how long it will take to get to your destination if you're driving at this speed, right? It's a subtle difference. But if you could see that, you would realize there is little difference between 60 miles an hour and 80 miles an hour. The difference in having an accident is much increased, right? If you're driving at 80 miles an hour than 60. But your journey time the change driving at 60 or 80 is very small. And his argument was if we could show that on a speedometer on a car, you would therefore probably drive slower because you would realize you don't need to spend as much petrol. You don't need to drive as dangerously to get there at the same time. Why am I telling you this story? It's a great example of people saying, I want a speedometer in my car and not knowing that actually they might want something different. So leave space for looking at behavior and learning more about your customers. There you go.
Amazingly that you have mentioned Rory. I'm really a person that really follow this person.
Yeah.
I think so. You remember the one he spoke about the metro, and I think so. It was a TED talk, and
Yeah.
I laughed. And he's an amazing, funny person. He
Yeah.
has a beautiful way of really saying, and I really encourage everyone to really follow him or read his books.
Yeah.
He's I think so. A leader in that, and I'm sure that يعني, as you are in the same footsteps that you are very soonly to reach there. One of I think so. I think so. You have heard it that the Coca-Cola story that when you enter to, how the property of Coca-Cola and that how this product branding reached to a level that uh, nobody can really touch, because they understood the behavior of people. So
Yeah.
when you go to a Michelin, an example, when you go to a Michelin restaurant and say, I need a Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, or anything, it's regular. Nobody can say no. But I think so. And it will be يعني, disappointing for any customer from a customer experience perspective if you don't find the Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But if you say, if you go to a Michelin restaurant and ask for, I'm not comparing, but يعني, Dr. Pepper, people will get confused, huh?
Yeah.
يعني, and you could be embarrassed. But this is where Coca-Cola put themselves.
Yeah.
This is how they worked on the behavior. So yes, 100%, I agree with you. This is the future. The future is that how we really can put and touch and understand, because now we are getting further and further from a face-to-face interaction, from a
Yeah.
human interaction. We are having, as يعني, it's helpful to have a technology that I could meet a person like you. You are in UK, I'm in Riyadh, and we could meet and do a podcast and all of that. That's amazing. But at the same time, we are losing gradually humanity a little bit. And so it's really helpful to have that behavior. I really, يعني, from my side, what do you see the challenges faced in the future in this field, in the customer, in marketing? What are the
Yeah.
challenges that are faced in this field?
Well, I think it's really interesting because I think that one of the things, again, that Rory talks about is that we need to be able to understand that there might be two right answers to a problem. Okay, so it's an interesting concept, but the idea is a really good example is checking into a hotel. So if you check into a hotel, different people like different kinds of check-ins, right? So one kind of very efficient way of checking in to a hotel is to have no human interaction at all. To have an app on your phone, you walk, it lets you into the hotel, it takes you up to your hotel room, the app unlocks your hotel room door, you're in. It's all done. It's all done digitally. It's amazing. So some people would say, I really like that. And other people would say, no, I don't like that. What I really want is perhaps this alternative, which is that maybe you're taken to your hotel room by a digital app, and in your hotel room waiting is a member of staff who then fills in any extra information they need about you and says, welcome, what else can I do for you to make your stay great? See, two different ways, right, of checking into a hotel. Both are great. So I would say that in terms of customer experience, the more research you can do with your customers, the better. And typically asking your customers the right questions, and that can be tricky sometimes, but asking the right questions and getting feedback from them is gold. So if you want to do great marketing in the future with and to know more about your customers, you need to talk to them. You need to spend time with them. There's a great story that Wyden and Kennedy ad agency, they basically won the McDonald's account. Okay, and they won the account for the McDonald's burger restaurants. And the reason they won it is because they did a lot of research. And what they did is they went and hung out with McDonald's customers, and they actually spent time talking to them. And they talked to thousands of them. And they learned that actually they made it like a Bible. They called it a Bible of truth about McDonald's. Okay. So they produced this book, and in the book were things they'd learned from talking to McDonald's customers. And this was amazing, and it created all the background they needed for years of advertising campaigns. I'll give you an example. They found out that everyone has their own take on a McDonald's meal. So they don't just go into McDonald's and order a Big Mac and a Coke and so on. They all like a Big Mac, yeah, but no gherkin, or Big Mac, but yeah, I no cheese. Everyone's got their own little unique thing that they do at McDonald's. That was very interesting. They also learned that if you go to a drive-through McDonald's in a car, and there's more than 5 people in a car, it always ends in chaos, right? So there's funny things they learned from talking to people. And each one of those insights became an advertising campaign that did very, very well for McDonald's in the future. So in terms of customer experience, talk to your customers. And when your customers have finished the whole process of buying from you, so you've successfully sold to them, they've bought your product, make sure you collect a net promoter score. Okay, so do your NPS 1 to 10, ask your customers 0 to 10, how do you rate our experience? And I'm sure you know this, Waleed, but maybe some of the people watching this don't know this, is that obviously what you're looking for is a 9 and a 10. If you've got a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for your whole customer experience, then these people are the kind of people that will walk over hot coals for your business. They will tell everyone they meet, this is the best product ever, you must buy this, right? 7 and 8 out of 10, well, that's okay, but you could do better. And less than 7, 0 to 6, anyone that scores in that area, they're going to cost your business money, right? Because you're going to have to apologize to them or make it up to them or do extra service for them in the future to try and win them over. So do your net promoter scores and make sure you're getting 9 and 10 out of 10. And if you're not, find out why. Make sure someone in your business is in charge of customer experience and that they are monitoring all of this. Right? I like to say it's amazing how many clients I work with, and I say, can you show me the map of customer experience? You know, what happens? You know, all the stages, and they can't show me. They don't have it. There's no one in their business at all that is thinking about this. And I'm like, how can you be doing this? You know, that someone in your company needs the responsibility of having this map. Imagine like a series of stepping stones going across a river, right? Someone needs that map, and they need to be able to go, yes, oh, look, number 3, not working so well this year. Number 5 is amazing. Everyone loves that, you know. And so someone needs to be able to tell you, is it going well? Is it not going well? Where should we put more money? Where should we save money next year? And above all, they should be in charge of and monitoring your customer experience.
100% agree. يعني you have, as they say, pinpointed, يعني especially, يعني it's around the world. It's not just in UK. Honestly, it's not just customer. Yeah, they've, يعني honestly, I always say it. People will understand only when they suffer.
Yeah,
Corona, I think, so was a slap and a punch and an uppercut for a lot of companies and a lot of
yeah,
organizations, because you could see that they were failing everywhere, and the masters who really understood the value of a customer and how you can translate it to a marketing, and how you can translate it from a customer understanding to a marketing attraction, to a marketing targeting. That's something really, yani, I hope to see everywhere. But
yeah,
nobody's perfect. This is why we, as they say, we will be out of jobs. I think so.
yeah,
If nobody's failing. So anyway, I hope that everyone understands the value of really connecting the dots. It's not just marketing, and it's not just customer service. You need to have marketing. You need to have this something that needs to be there. I really thank you. I don't know if you would like to close it with anything you would like. For me, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to connect to this person, the genius guy, his organization name is Shooting for the Moon. Am I
shoot
correct? Shooting for the Moon.
the moon. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. This is, يعني, really, the name alone really explains that if you want to shoot for the moon and reach to the high levels, this is the guy that you really put your hands with, and I'm sure that he will support you. If you would like to close the session from your side, I would really like to hear from you.
sure. Okay. Well, Waleed, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about all matters marketing. Um, I believe marketing is not brain surgery or rocket science. At its core, fundamentals are very simple. It's amazing how many people don't know what those are.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank you very much for attending, giving me a really full half an hour from your time. Hope to see you soon. Hope to see you here in Saudi soon, that we could meet and have something together and have a chance to work together. This is something that I would really love to see and hope.
Yeah,
I really invite you to have that opportunity if you have the chance to come, and I'm more than happy to support you in that. And thank you for attending CX SnaX. This podcast was, as they say, proud to have a person like you. Thank you, everyone. This was Walid Al Hamdan from CX SnaX.